What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. White man says Europeans have always been proud of their colonial history. And that's true. Europeans have always been proud of the fact that they went across the world and they destroyed everybody. That they were able to conquer. They love that word conquer. They love it. They love their guns because they couldn't do, listen, white folks couldn't do that shit when it was mano a mano, when it was shield to shield, when it was sword to sword, when it was spear to spear. They couldn't do it. But man, when they stole that goddamn gunpowder and gun technology from Chinese, they went on a motherfucking rampage like a bunch of cowards, savage, barbarian orcs that they are. That's what they did. And they make all their movies glazing themselves about how they were able to murder all of the planet's indigenous population, right? How they was able to murder all the Native Americans. They had to justify it, though, by saying that the Native Americans were barbaric savages. They had to murder as many Africans. They have never fully taken over Africa, even though they held on to it for quite a bit, right? With their guns, because they couldn't do it. There's no way they couldn't throw the dukes. And it wasn't easy for them to do Africa either, because they was getting fucked up in Africa. You know how many white men died and got murdered and got eliminated coming up in Africa, especially when we took those motherfucking guns from them. But they were so proud of it. Oh, we went in there. Everybody is a savage, right? I mean, they went to Australia and they just say they're civilizing people. The most uncivilized group of people on the planet walk around talking about they civilized people. That's insane to me. They are the most uncivilized group of people on the planet. And they say no one else is civilized. That shit is projection at its max. All right. But yeah, these dudes are proud. They just feel shame now because they're being called out by the people that they tried to destroy, who are making a comeback, because that's how weak white supremacy is. That's how weak they were in real life. That now that they're losing that power and they're being faced with the fact that all that shit they was talking, all that supposed savagery that they said everybody else was, and they were Jesus Christ's warriors just going there to do it. God, God, I don't know. First of all, that's why I say the black man's God and the white man's God are not the same God. Our God is much stronger than their God, because our God has gotten us to survive through all this shit and thrive. Their God got them fucking losing, going extinct. Their God is weak and ineffective. Their God is a jealous piece of shit God. That's who their God is. Their God is nothing. I spit on their God. That's what I think about their fucking weak ass God. So yeah. So the white people, they're very much proud. Good morning. They're very much proud of their savage, barbaric ways. And they're trying to find a way to process it now, because now they feel guilty. Now they have to be held accountable. They feel guilty. But it's too late. They should have felt guilty a long time ago. Right? But it's too late. So don't ever let them think they're not proud of slavery. They're proud of slavery. That's why they make all those movies. You think the movies was meant to, all them slave American movies was meant to revoke, to tell the truth about America and to expose themselves? No, that movie was made for white people to sit back and ponder and bask over the glory days. The glory days, back when they was truly in charge, when they can be who they really are. Savages. Think about it. They enslaved themselves, especially these white folks here. This is the first time they was able to do it to somebody else. Because before, when they was in Europe, when they was in the peninsula of Asia, when they was on the worst part of Asia, they was just enslaving themselves. That's all they was doing. Good morning. They was just enslaving themselves. That's all they were doing. They were killing each other, giving each other blood eagles and shit, splitting getting real creative with how to decombobulate a body. That's what they were doing, right? So yeah, they proud of that shit. Don't let them not think they proud of that shit, and they still proud of that shit. That's why every goddamn year they go down to Virginia in America and they reenact that goddamn Civil War. They love that shit, and they both switch sides and shit. They take that shit with pride. They be out there reenacting all the battles and shit. They do that shit. And I know they do that shit in Europe too. White folks even reenact all the battles where they slaughtered each other. Their God is death. Their God is death and destruction. That's who they love. And graping. They love graping. Graping is their favorite pastime. It's not baseball. It's graping. They're the biggest grapers by far on the planet. And second doesn't come anywhere close. They're not even in the same galaxy as close. Right? So yeah, don't let them ever think. Don't you ever look at a white person and think, I wonder if they feel bad about it. No, they don't. They're proud of that shit. They make museums. All right. They're victory fucking trophy cases about it. Okay. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
Europeans have always been proud of colonialism, not ashamed. not regretful. Proud, like a dog dragging a rotting carcass into the living room and smiling about it. They don't whisper about colonialism. They commemorate it. Statues, museums, street names, national holidays. They immortalized mass murder like it was a graduation ceremony. Churches still sit on the bones. Estates still hoard the blood money. Textbooks still call it exploration, and they still want applause for it. This wasn't a passing phase. It was the national personality. The British crowned themselves off of the back of severed Congolese hands, and still have the audacity to televise coronations like it's pageantry, not necromancy. The French turned Haiti into a sugar-coated slaughterhouse, and then demanded reparations from the people they enslaved. The Dutch sold children like livestock and wrote it off as trade. The Spanish gutted entire civilizations and called it conversion. And the Belgians, they didn't colonize, they maimed with clinical precision, with rubber quotas and iron rods, and yet every single one of them still insists their influence was positive, still clinging to that diseased delusion that giving smallpox, whips, and Bibles to the world was somehow a gift, still turning genocide into museum tours and plantation weddings, still claiming they built railroads, as if trains erase all trauma. Meanwhile, non-European civilizations who built empires, hospitals, astronomical calendars, universities, irrigation systems, spiritual doctrines, and ethical codes without annihilating half the planet are called primitive. Let's be clear, colonialism wasn't a side quest. It was the European identity, their art, their architecture, their entire economy, stitched from pillaged continents and scorched villages, and they've never stopped celebrating it. They put genociders on their money. They name warships after conquerors. They teach their children to be proud of empire, proud of empire, proud of how they sterilized indigenous women, proud of how they fenced in people like livestock, proud of how they salted the soil, banned languages, kidnapped generations, renamed everything sacred, and then dared to call it civilization. It's not just history, it's heritage. It's not in the past, it's policy. And it's not forgotten, it's branded. Like a flag stitched from the skin of the global south, like a hymn echoing with the screams of every child stolen, every land scorched, every ancestor sold. They have always been proud. Because without colonialism, Europe is nothing but a cold peninsula with bad weather, worse food, and a rabid superiority complex. And they know it. Cope.
Wait. Before you go, for all my subscribers and philanthropists out there, I'm building a solar power community water bowl system in Nigeria. It's going to cost between $5,000 and $6,000. I'm trying to raise money. If you want to participate and help me build this solar power water system, please donate to the Cash App and put solar water in the notes. Solar water in the notes. I'll put PayPal, Stripe, and Zelle. Anyway, thank you. That's all I got to say. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out. Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.